Hey family, this is Brian Anthony Phoenix coming at you with a little video that I'd like to do. And this will be the first video on a new YouTube channel that I'm starting. This is also signaling the start of a campaign that's kind of been in the back of my head that I'll be developing with the different things that I've been studying in the realm of sound healing and sound therapy, music therapy, music, all those things, musical medicine as it is. So I wanted to talk to you just briefly for a few minutes about the potency that can be found in working with sound and music as a medicine. I think we all understand how powerful music is, and for those who have also experienced sound healing, whether as a practitioner or someone who has uh, experienced the practice being given to them to facilitate healing. I think across the board we all have an experience that intrinsically we just know that there's some power there, there's some goodness when it comes to these things. But I really want to dive a little bit deeper into why and how we can really use the kind of mechanics and the visuals and the words and the different aspects that we get from music and vibration to really understand how we go throughout life and how we can make certain changes in order to start harmonizing better with life. Because I feel like the concept of harmony in music, is when all the notes line up in such a way that it creates a pleasant tone. And not only that, but there's several different things that happen vibrationally when harmony is reached, such as a concept called overtones, and that really it unlocks this power. Um, so specifically, I like to just kind of illustrate that we are walking basically liquid crystals that vibrate. Um, and I mean, scientifically, we 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 have a vibration. We have a measurable vibration. There was a doctor that I saw do a presentation, and I apologize, I don't have his name. I've been trying to find him again. I saw him do a short presentation at a sound healing conference that talked about how we have, at any given time, we have a certain kind of vibration that is measurable, a measurable frequency that we can measure in hertz. And what he was researching is that there's actually a vibration that we reach when we're in homeostasis. So when we lie down to rest, what should happen is that we should reach this particular vibration. We should kind of tune into this. Our body becomes this particular frequency, and we start vibrating at a frequency that's supposed to be our ultimate rest state. The problem was that he found is that almost everyone that he studied initially would not get into that homeostasis in regards to their own personal vibration when they would rest. We're too wound up, we're too stressed out, whatever. So he did a series of tests that would allow him to find what your homeostasis vibration was. And the way that he did it is he would basically just go through the spectrum of vibration. And once you would lay on a table that would basically vibrate, and he would increase and decrease the frequency until he had hit the sweet spot where all of a sudden your body and that frequency would match up, and he would know because of the physical reaction that your body would have. My teacher Fabian Maman has did studies back in the 80s that had a similar kind of response, or kind of a similar illumination in terms of what happens when there's something called sympathetic resonance. So Fabian Maman, the teacher that I study under at the Tamado Academy of Sound, Color, and Movement, he did an experiment where he played acoustic tones for living cells, pools of blood cells, and he took pictures of these cells with something called a Kirlian camera. Kirlian photography was made famous by the Russians because it would basically take pictures of the energy signature of biological matter, and you can see reactions on a level that you can't see with the naked eye or even under a regular microscope. So you're basically looking at the electrical patterns, the aura, or as it were, of biological matter. And what Fabien Maman found is that when he would play acoustic tones, he would go through the musical scale, and at some point on the scale, that particular, whoever that person was, and it was specific to the person, that person's blood cells would suddenly elicit this amazing response. Every pool of blood cells would respond in a certain way to each note, but what would happen is that there would be this multicolor, vibrant, just excitement of the entire pool of blood cells when he would hit a particular note. So this gets into a concept called sympathetic resonance. So sympathetic resonance is basically when two things that potentially vibrate at the same frequency, one thing might be vibrating at that frequency, and the other thing that also vibrates at that frequency will start vibrating at the same wavelength if the other instrument or whatever initiates that vibration. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I've got a little, it's called a guitarlele. It's like a guitar ukulele, see? And I'm gonna sing the A note. Ah, ah. Now I want you to hear what happens when I sing the note at the guitar. Ah. Now, it might be kind of hard to hear on this video, but essentially that A string starts vibrating when I sing the A note. It's sympathetic resonance. It says, hey, I recognize that vibration. I can do that too. And it just starts doing it. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think this is a really sweet concept that we can bring into our own lives. And I've been in a kind of a state of being over the last couple of weeks that's really been, well, it was hard for me to step up to do this video, let's say, because I haven't been just so great at practicing this particular technique. But I think this is a really good time for me to share this with you because I'm definitely I'm still a student of all of this, and I really want to share with you my insights and experience personally, but also let you know that I'm kind of committing to this practice as well. So when we talk about sympathetic resonance, so we are walking vibrations. Okay, I think we can agree with that. If we can, then we can kind of start to accept some different ways we can look at life in really sweet ways, in my opinion. So everything else is a vibration too, and especially when we start talking about emotions and thoughts. Each emotion and thought actually carries a particular a wave pattern too. We know that when we measure the brain, measure brain waves and measure the states of the brain, that when we're sad or when we're depressed, when we're happy, when we're in a meditative state, there's different frequencies that are associated with each one of those. So the concept of sympathetic resonance is very interesting because to me it actually is one of the intrinsic qualities of what we call the law of attraction. Now I know that a lot of people kind of poo-poo the law of attraction because they say, whatever, I'm not going to go there. But when you look at it in the regards of sympathetic resonance, there's actually a very tangible and provable kind of response in terms of the law of attraction, and there's also a theoretical possibilities when we get into quantum mechanics that also kind of even delves deeper with what it could potentially mean. So let's say, for example, that we are vibrating in the realm of fear. Let's say we're afraid. Whatever it is that elicits, that sparks that fear, whether it's trauma from the past, whether it's just a complete kind of immersion in a lot of just the junk media that we are bombarded by, that just tells us that the world is a terrible place, whatever that might be. If we wake up with the vibration of fear radiating from our mind, and in our body, in our presence, then what is going to happen is that just like the sympathetic resonance that we see here, when we're vibrating at the resonance of fear, then as we walk and go throughout our day, that same resonance is going to be the most likely resonance that we are going to tune into. Not only is it the same resonance that we're going to pick up on, because if we're already in the realm of fear, then what happens is that we're tuned into that station. So when we come across something that is going to elicit more fear in us, we're going to pick up on that right away, because in a way we're searching for it. Our antenna is already tuned in, our station is dialed to that frequency. But not only that, those frequencies will also reach out to us. Because the concept of sympathetic resonance means that as we're walking through our day and we're vibrating at the level of fear, using that as an example, then other things that are vibrating at that level of fear are going to be like, hey, I know how to vibrate like that. I know that frequency. And then you guys are going to meet together, and there's going to be some reaction or some response there that is going to strengthen that vibration. So now you have two things vibrating at the same wavelength, and you're strengthening that vibration. You're authenticating it. You're perpetuating it. So, and you can see this. Think about when you're just having a bad day, and for whatever reason that day is started off with, let's say, anger. I mean, this is a pretty easy one for me to see. When I start off a day with anger, it's like I just constantly come across things that are making me angry, and that can just be like, okay, well, my mind is just having a bad response. But literally, I will come across other angry people. Like I'm all of a sudden I'm just like picking up on that frequency, and I'll come across a coworker who's also angry, and we both talk about how both we're both angry, and that anger is kind of resonates together, and we're like, yeah, yes, anger, and we continue throughout our day. So the reason I bring this up, though, as something important to really talk about, is that it works both ways in the sense that we can do that with different vibrations, with different concepts. We can do it with love, we can do it with joy, we can do it with happiness. So it's really a simple thing to do. Easier said than done. But if we take the same concept, and I know that we all, if we can trace back to some maybe just recently or not too distant past, we know that it goes the same direction with love and joy. When we wake up and we're joyous and we're loving and we have that vibration, we're lifted, we're bright, then as we walk through our day, we are finding that sympathetic resonance. We find other people and other things. Things just look brighter. Things are instilling joy. We see the smiles in the children. We come across other people that are happy, and even people that aren't happy. When we hold that vibration strongly, what happens is that even if their vibration is so, deep in a different quality of, emotion or thought, it's still gonna, whatever love or joy frequency is within them will try to come to the surface. And this is the really profound thing too when we start interacting with other people when we're in that state, is that if we hold true and hold strong that vibration, then we actually start becoming of service to others, because we are allowing that channel to be tuned into. And some people are going to tune into it either easier than others. So that's really the main crux of what I wanted to talk about today. I don't want to get too far into this video. We're approaching about 15 minutes now, but I just want you to really think about that concept of sympathetic resonance. Because when we also start going deeper into, say, like quantum mechanics, and we're literally talking about the possibility of the law of attraction being that there is no such thing as time on the quantum level, and let's say there's these different umbilical cords of future possibilities that are shooting out in each direction from us, and when we tune our body and our mind in a particular way, then we start following that particular cord in a particular direction that's going to lead to some particular outcomes. this is where I think the law of attraction starts becoming congruent with the law of sympathetic resonance, because when we are resonating with the concepts of love, abundance, joy, family, then we are not only just tuning into that in our present moment, but we are potentially tuning into that in terms of future outcomes. We have several different potentialities that are in front of us, and when we tune into a particular vibration, then that's going to determine that umbilicus that we're going to follow into the future. So think about that. And I am going to start offering some group gatherings. I do individual sound, color, Tomado, sound, color, and movement therapy. And I'm also going to be doing some group classes here in Chico, California. My first one is coming up. I'll put some information here in the comments. I'll be doing a monthly at the the Yoga Center of Chico. First one is this Sunday, August 28th at 7 p.m. Also, I'm doing one in Paradise, California on September 2nd, which is a Friday at 6:30 p.m. And then I'll be doing them regularly. So if you're interested, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing frequent videos that are of this nature. This is my my campaign. So in that declaration, the last thing I want to say is that my campaign is called Humanity Harmonized. I have a website being built right now, and I'll have that up. And so if you're interested too, you can comment, send me a message with your email address, and I'll put you on the email list to let you know of upcoming events. So thanks for listening. I love you all, and I really hope that the experience I can share and the different knowledge that I'm learning as a student can help you in whatever capacity it's meant to. So I hope you all have a great day or great evening wherever you're at, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.